everyone. Today's video discussion is going to relate to the matter of the Earned Income Tax Credit, sometimes referred to as the EITC. Now, what is the Earned Income Tax Credit? The Earned Income Tax Credit is a refundable tax credit for low-income working taxpayers. Now, I put emphasis on the word refundable because the IRS has two types of credits. There's the refundable tax credit, and then there is the non-refundable tax credit. A refundable tax credit will generate a refund or an additional refund for you, whereas a non-refundable tax credit will not. So when you're filing your taxes and you're claiming credits, it may be a good idea to find out if that credit is a refundable tax credit or if it is a non-refundable tax credit. Again, with a refundable tax credit, you will get a refund if that credit exceeds your tax liability. With a non-refundable credit, even if the credit amount does exceed your tax liability, you will not receive a refund of the additional amount from that credit. For more information regarding refundable and non-refundable credits, you can visit the IRS website at www.irs.gov, or you can visit my website at www.audiotaxhelp.com. That's AUDIOTAXHELP.com. So now let's talk about the Earned Income Tax Credit amounts for tax year 2012. Now, these amounts do tend to change from year to year or every other year or whenever the IRS decides to change them. So, for future years other than tax year 2012, you will need to check the earned income amounts and the maximum credit amounts to see if they in fact have changed or not. So I am going to give you the figures for tax year 2012. So that means that when you file your tax return this year, you're actually filing for tax year 2012. And that's what these numbers are going to be applicable to, tax year 2012. Now, in order to claim the Earned Income Tax Credit, you have to qualify to do so. You cannot apply for the Earned Income Tax Credit. You have to qualify. And there is a list of qualifications that have to be met or should be met in order to be able to take the credit. As the Earned Income Tax Credit has been widely abused over the years, the IRS is looking deeper into situations where individuals claim the credit. Tax preparers are also being held responsible and or penalized for processing or qualifying someone for the credit when they actually aren't supposed to be. So the IRS is getting wise, or shall I say has gotten wise, to the wide abuse of the Earned Income Tax Credit. Therefore, they are taking steps to reduce that abuse. Now, granted, this has been going on for a while. People have abused the credit, along with other credits, I'm sure, and they will likely continue to do so. But please note that the IRS is aware of these practices, and they are taking steps to reduce or eliminate these practices. So now that I've said that, I am going to provide you with the earned income amounts or the adjusted gross income amounts and the maximum credit amounts that are applicable for tax year 2012. I am going to read from the list in front of me so that I can make sure that I have the numbers accurate. Now for tax year 2012, the earned income and AGI must be less than the following amounts: $45,060 if filing single, $50,270 if filing married jointly with 3 or more qualifying children. And the $45,060 I mentioned if filing single. I should have said if filing head of household. The $45,060 is applicable if filing head of household. So these amounts you would have had to made less than these amounts to qualify for the credit with 3 or more qualifying children. With 2 qualifying children, head of household, $41,952. Married filing jointly, $47,162. 1 qualifying child, $36,920, and $42,130 if married filing jointly. With no qualifying children, $13,980 if filing single, and $19,190 if married filing jointly. Again, the amounts that I have provided to you, your earned income and AGI must be less than those amounts to qualify for the credit, providing that you meet the other qualifications. As a recap on those numbers, head of household with 3 or more qualifying children, earned income must be less than $45,060. If married filing jointly, the earned income must be less than $50,270. And that's with 3 or more qualifying children. With 2 qualifying children, head of household, earned income must be less than $41,952. Married filing jointly, earned income must be less than $47,162. With 1 qualifying child, earned income must be less than $36,920 and $42,130 if married filing jointly. With no qualifying children, earned income must be less than $13,980 and $19,190 if married filing jointly. Now let's talk about the maximum credit amounts for tax year 2012. With 3 or more qualifying children, the maximum credit amount is $5,891. With 2 qualifying children, the maximum amount is $5,236. With one qualifying child, the maximum amount is $3,169. And with no qualifying children, the maximum amount of the earned income credit is $475. Now, granted, this does not mean that you should run out and try to find your neighbor's kids or some distant relative's children to claim in order to qualify for the credit. There are other factors involved other than the income. And again, the IRS has strict rules to qualify for these credits. And again, they are aware of the wide abuse of this credit, and they are taking steps to make sure that the abuse of this credit is kept to a minimum, if not eliminated. I highly doubt if the practice will be eliminated, but they are taking steps to reduce the abuse of the credit. Now again, I'm going to recap the maximum amounts of the earned income tax credit for tax year 2012. 3 qualifying children, the maximum amount of the credit, $5,891. With 2 qualifying children, the maximum amount of the credit is $5,236. With 1 qualifying child, $3,169. And with no qualifying children, the maximum credit amount is $475. Now, for more information regarding the qualifications for the Earned Income Tax Credit, or EITC, again, visit the IRS website at www.irs.gov or visit my website at www.audiotaxhelp.com. Again, that's AUDIOTAXHELP.com. In addition, if you have other tax questions that you may need answers to, you can Google tax.appeal.168. That's tax.appeal.168. I am a tax expert on a reputable Q&A site, and I have answered numerous questions for customers all over the U.S. and in Australia regarding tax matters. So again, you may want to browse the tax answers on Google by typing in tax.appeal.168. As always, my goal is to help you make your life a little less